Hello, I'm Tamsin, and welcome back to English Sound Building, the advanced pronunciation podcast where you do the work to build muscle memory, and master new sounds. As always, remember that successful communication is possible in any one of the thousands of global English accents. There is no ideal. But learning about pronunciation can help make our speaking clearer to those listening to us, can help us listen better as well. It's fascinating and it's fun, and that is why we're here. If you find it useful to read as you listen, you can find a script for this podcast on my Patreon page. That's www.patreon.com/EnglishBrickByBrick. You'll find the link in the episode notes. Everything is free on there. Just scroll down on the main page. I am a one-person team, writing, recording, and editing these in my free time, though. So if you like what I do and you are able to support me, please do. And thank you so much to those of you who already have or already are. So this week we are revisiting the j sound that we first looked at last season in the cheering and jeering episode. In that episode, we were contrasting the voiced j and the voiceless ch sounds. Today, we're contrasting it with a different sound, the y sound, which is not one that we've looked at before. And this can be a tricky contrast for speakers of some languages and can result in the sounds being treated as interchangeable in English. So we're going to review, first of all, how to make the j sound. And to make this sound, I think the best advice I can give is to start with your voice. So the first thing you should be doing is feeling in your throat, the pushing of air out, the vibration of the vocal cords. As soon as you're doing that, then start making the d sound, placing the blade of your tongue against the alveolar ridge, and follow it immediately with the zh sound. So to do that, you'll lower the blade of your tongue, it will leave the alveolar ridge, and in the same movement, the sides of your tongue will press up against the insides of your upper side teeth, and the middle of your tongue will tense and rise up to come closer to the hard palate. J, j, j. Your lips are likely to slightly flare at this end point as well. J, j, j. Let's review a few of the common words with j. Listen and repeat. During, enjoy, gym, imagine, job, language, project, teenager. Well done. And one long sentence. As usual, I'll read it once slowly for you to grasp the words, and then two more times at a more natural pace, pausing after each of those times for you to repeat. The teenager enjoyed imagining her language project during her job at the gym. The teenager enjoyed imagining her language project during her job at the gym. The teenager enjoyed imagining her language project during her job at the gym. So let's move on to the y sound. It's made in quite a similar position to the j part of j, but not exactly the same. So the y sound is made by the center of the tongue, moving close to but not touching the hard palate at the top of the mouth while vibrating the vocal cords. The sides of the tongue will touch the upper side teeth here. It can be helpful to start in a completely relaxed schwa-like position because the front of your mouth should be completely relaxed for this sound. So start from and then just tense that midsection of your tongue. Bring it up in your mouth. You want to get it close to, but not touching that hard palate. It's called an approximant sound, which means that it comes close to producing friction, but doesn't quite get there. Y, y, y. And again, playing with your tongue and jaw position will help here if you're not quite getting it. So you can see what happens if my tongue comes too high in my mouth. Y, y, y. I start to hear that friction coming through. If my tongue's too far forward in my mouth, y, y, y. Again, you're hearing that friction and you're hearing something more similar to the j sound, where the top of the tongue is much higher in the mouth. Further back in my mouth, g, g, g. You can hear the soft palate coming into play there. At the end of the sound, the tongue will lower again to make the following vowel sound. And the exact position of which the tongue will fall into depends on what that vowel is. So again, it can be helpful to play, feeling the difference between yi, yai, yo, ya, you, etc. So let's practice some common words with the y sound. We're looking at a few more of these as it's a new sound to us. So really focusing on that quick movement, that raising and lowering just of the midsection of the tongue, trying to keep everything else as relaxed as you can and trying to avoid any friction in there. Listen and repeat. Beautiful. Computer. Few. Future. Human. Interview. Menu. Museum. Newspaper. Student. University. Use. Usually. View. Year. Yellow. Yesterday. Young. Yourself. Well done. And then 3 sentences with some of those words. Again, I'll read the first time slowly, the second 2 times at a more natural pace, pausing after those second 2 times for you to repeat. Sentence 1. I read your yearly museum newspaper yesterday. I read your yearly museum newspaper yesterday. I read your yearly museum newspaper yesterday. Sentence 2. I usually use beautiful yellow menus. I usually use beautiful yellow menus. I usually use beautiful yellow menus. And sentence 3. The student was interviewed by computer on Tuesday. The student was interviewed by computer on Tuesday. The student was interviewed by computer on Tuesday. Okay, let's move on to some common minimal pairs with j and y at the beginnings of words. Before we read the words, though, we'll just practice the contrast between the sounds, which hopefully will help any of those of you who are still feeling some difficulty distinguishing between them. So we'll move from j to y, first of all. J, y, j, y, j, y, j, y. So the difference I feel is that the j is involving a lot more of the front of my mouth. The y, the front of my mouth, is a lot more of relaxed, and I really feel that midpoint of my tongue rising up and then dropping down quickly, tensing quickly to make that y. We'll do it the other way around. Y, j, y, j, y, j, y, j. Let's read the first 4 minimal pairs together. Listen and repeat. Jaw, yaw. Jam, yam. Jewel, yule. Juice, use. For the next 4, I'll read the j word, and I'd like you to read both. We'll do the first one together as an example. Jeer. So you should have said jeer, year. Or, of course, if you did it the other way round, year, jeer, also fine. Let's do the next three. Jet, jot, gel. Well done. Listen, repeat, and check how you did. Jeer, year. Jet, yet. Jot, yacht. Gel, yell. And for the final four, I will read the y word, and I'd like you to read both. Again, we'll do the first one as an example. Yak. So that was a bit tricky because it's a name. You should have read yak, jack, or jack, yak. Let's try the next three. Use, Yeti, yoke. And again, listen, repeat, and check how you did. Yak, jack. Use, Jews. Yeti, jetty. Yoke, joke. Well done. And although we are focusing on the difference between the y and the j today, it's definitely worth pointing out here that if you are a devoicer of that j sound, if you tend to produce the ch sound instead, which you may do, for example, if German is your first language, then make sure that you're not doing that in those minimal pairs as well, so that you're not getting, for example, yak, chak, or use, choose, or yoke, choke, that you are fully voicing that j sound, that you're starting it with the voice, as I said, with the j, the voice really pushing the sound from the beginning. I sometimes say vomit the voice, so then you vomit the sound up through your mouth from your throat with the voice as the starting point. We're going to finish with three sentences with a combination of the j and y sounds. Again, I'll read them the first time slowly, and a second and third time at a more natural pace, pausing for you to repeat. And as always with these sentence level pieces of speech, you will notice other features of connected speech happening. We've spoken about a few of them now, so see if you can recognize those, and just pay attention to the other changes which are happening in your mouth as the sounds are read more quickly, and in combination with other sounds in other words. Sentence number one. Jack joked he saw a Yeti on the jetty. Jack joked he saw a Yeti on the jetty. Jack joked he saw a Yeti on the jetty. Sentence two. They jeered and yelled at the yacht. They jeered and yelled at the yacht. They jeered and yelled at the yacht. Sentence three. You'll use juice and jam, not yams. You'll use juice and jam, not yams. You'll use juice and jam, not yams. There we go. Well done. That is the end of this week's workout. Don't forget to practice as often as possible to build muscle and muscle memory, speeding the podcast up or slowing it down as you need to. If you'd like to follow me on social media, come find me on Instagram or Facebook at English Brick by Brick. And you will also find me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/English Brick by Brick. We're back with the y sound again next week, but this time looking at how it appears in connected speech. It's a good one. Enjoy sound building, and I'll see you then.